Okay, let's start doing the applications of the 4 roads. Patrick just demonstrated all 4 roads, and it doesn't really look like much of a fighting set. And I mean, at first, it's not. You're training all of your different stances, your steps, being able to change direction, things like that. But the form is filled with ways to break people's legs, basically. And any drunken boxer needs to have this kind of information, because before we become unorthodox, we need to understand some of the orthodox technique. So I'm going to use my student Joe as my guinea pig here for some of these applications. So the first movement in the form are these 2 sweeps. Now obviously I'm not going to be standing in front of my opponent like this because he's just going to kick me in the groin. But these sweeping techniques, very important to understand that they're coming around in a big circle and back. Okay? And what's happening here is no matter what's going on with the hands, so I mean if he attacks me and I block, pay no attention up here. This isn't what's important. What's important is what I do with my legs. Okay, so he goes on that. Okay. So when I get to here, what I'm doing is coming all the way around, and then I'm not just sort of stepping into him like this. Again, remember when Patrick moved into that horse stance, ready? Yeah, he was moving with some force. Go ahead. So I'm going to be moving with some force into my stance. And it's the same on the other side. You don't need to see both. This can also be used for getting around behind somebody. So again, if Joe's attacking, when I take that sweep, look where I become. I'm right behind my opponent. I'm in a really nice position. Now I can either do these sweeps with my legs, or obviously from this position, I can start doing anything else I want. My hands are behind me. Oh, look, 41. Just like before. It doesn't make any difference. The idea here is to destroy the base. We've got different types of ways to do that. We call cutting the base, sweeping, and destroying the base. They're different ideas. We'll cover them all in this set, I would think. What we're doing here, this is a nice easy sweep at first. So that's our very first sweep out movement. The second movement in the form is up to crane, and then pushing through and down, tentatively. Now the reason the tentative word is used is because you're not crushing, using a crushing force. You're not dropping on somebody's knee. You're coming up and throwing a kick through that leg. So my opponent, whatever happens with the hands, do something to me, whatever. Okay, when I block, I take my nice easy crane and I just attack the leg. Okay, oh, in a position like this, I'm actually set up to do the next movement too, using it as a knee strike, maybe finishing them off. Very simple applications. The next move is the tiger step. The tiger step comes straight through, kicking the heel into the ground, and then bringing the weight forward. You're not stepping like this. You keep your weight down and centered, and you drive your foot directly forward. The other mistake I see people make is this. That's a different step that we do next in the form. Tiger must run in a straight line, straight through somebody. And it has the attitude that it basically is unstoppable. It's the king of the food chain. It runs everything. So, just take a bow stance, Joe. When I'm coming through with a tiger step, a couple of things could be going on. I'm either kicking directly into his leg, or his groin, or whatever, doesn't make any difference. Or, I get very close to him, just turn sideways for the camera. I get very close to him and put our feet together. And when I come into my bow stance, I make sure that my bow stance, my knee, hits his knee and then drives forward. And this is the application that you'll get out of that. Doesn't matter which side of his foot you end up on. If I'm on the right-hand side or the outside of his foot, I'll wrap my knee to the inside of his foot to start this technique. And if it's the opposite side, doesn't matter, wrap it onto the other side. You see the upper body movement? That's what you're really after. That's destabilizing. Okay? Because maybe he's not down on the floor, but if we were fighting and I did this, I've changed a lot of options. So that's tiger step. Third one in this set is the snake. And we talked about how the snake pulls and then pushes out. Okay? Pulls and then it'll push out. And basically this push out is a side kick, right? The pull, first we'll talk about. My opponent attacks, I retreat, for instance. I get away from him. Now, in a position like this, if I do this snake step, I can either, come around his foot for some reason, or use this pull to hook his leg out from underneath him. That's the main application of this one. This one, main application is a side kick. So he comes at me, whatever, I move out of the way, attack his leg. Now there's cutting out the base as well, which we'll do in just a second. We'll do it in the next video. Thanks a lot. We'll continue in the next one.